there, folks. I hope you brought your jogging shoes because today I'm Nate and we're breaking down the top 10 celebrities who are on the run from the law. Number 10, Seth Rogan and James Franco. Our first spot on this is going to be a double down, as the situation surrounding their run from the law was a shared experience. In 2014, Seth Rogan and James Franco starred in a film called The Interview, in which they play a talk show producer and host respectively, and are granted the opportunity to interview the Supreme Leader of North Korea. Spoiler alert, at the end of that movie, the Supreme Leader is blown up in a helicopter, and the heroes liberate the country. Needless to say, that did not sit well for Kimmy. When news of the film and its content began circulating a few months before its scheduled worldwide theater release, the Korean government hacked Sony servers to watch the film and gain the private information of its employees. This led to Seth Rogan and James Franco being personally threatened by Korean law enforcement that they were being viewed as enemies to the country and were therefore a threat. This caused Rogan and Franco to go into hiding, even having Sony Studios hire 24/7 security guards at their private homes. The government continued to threaten the two until they had the movie edited down to the Supreme Leader's approvals. And after a couple of months of hiding, Rogan joked in his book Yearbook that one morning everybody woke up and the guards were just gone. Nobody said goodbye, there was no good luck, no nothing. It was decided that the film would make more money and be more accessible if it was premiered online, making it one of the very first full-length feature films to ever premiere on the Google Play Store. Number 9, Bam Margera. Wham! Bam! Thank you, ma'am! Bam Margera is best known for bringing his body to the brink of destruction on numerous occasions. I'd run down the titles of things that he's been in, but I can't really say most of those because they're a little too raunchy for YouTube, so just Google his name and have some fun. Unfortunately, Bam has also been one of the many Hollywood bad boys that have fallen into serious addiction and substance control issues. Since the mid-2000s, Bam has been in and out of prisons and rehabs, always being able to clean up his act momentarily, but unfortunately falling right back into his old habits. This is too bad, considering just last year on fellow stuntman Steve-O's podcast, Bam reported that he was doing really well and actually had just finished a full year in rehabilitation, but it seems like he may have returned to his rambunctious ways. Last week it was reported that there was a warrant out for Bam's arrest following an altercation with his brother, which included Bam spouting some very threatening threats to his entire family. A manhunt was issued for the stuntman, as his many run-ins with the law had listed him as dangerous and aggressive. After 3 days, the hunt was called off, Bam came to his senses and decided to turn himself in. So far, there is no news on the outcome for Bam, but we can say for certain it's probably not going to be good. Number 8, Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller has been on the acting scene since 2008, first appearing in films such as After School and Perks of Being a Wallflower. They seemed like a normal functioning member of society for quite some time until 2019, when cast and crew started noticing odd behavior from the actor. They would often wear capes or robes to set that were never a part of the wardrobe. They were also reported to have a lot of scattered thoughts and motivations, both on and off screen. And in 2020, a video surfaced of Miller in a violent altercation outside of a bar in Iceland, which would only be the first of many videos showcasing the actor's misdeeds, eventually leading to Miller breaking and entering into someone's house in Hawaii of all places. I guess they were just a little bit chilly and couldn't find a blanket. Miller then went on the run from Hawaiian authorities for a little over a week, supposedly squatting in abandoned buildings and sleeping on benches. They were eventually caught and charged with breaking and entering as well as aggravated swatting, as Miller had apparently gotten into a fist fight before breaking into the house. I don't know, 2 birds, 1 stone, right? Number 7, Shakira. While her hips may not lie, apparently she does. Famous pop singer Shakira made headlines in 2018 when Spanish prosecutors announced that Shakira had failed to pay $14.5 million in European taxes between 2012 and 2004. Shakira has claimed that her primary residence at the time was in the Bahamas, but the authorities say that she was living in Barcelona during this period in a house that she had purchased in May of 2012. Shakira was adamant that this never took place and the Spanish government were simply trying to ruin her name. She dodged the Spanish government for years until she was forced to pay the full tax debt, plus $3 million in interest. But the law did not stop there, as they apparently continued to berate her to this day, claiming that there's still money being owed on her account. In fact, Shakira finally had enough and decided to stop avoiding the law and face them head on, and has started a lawsuit which she is said to be very confident to win. Number 6, Mark Wahlberg. That's right, Mackie Mac from Defunct Funky Bunch is on this list. He once ran from the law for something that happened in his youth in 1999. From a young age, Mark actually suffered from substance control issues, which many link to his parents' divorce when he had just become a teenager. He took a lot of his anger out on those around him while under the influence, with one instance even leaving him on the run and hiding from authorities for over a month. One night on his way home, Wahlberg ran into and began an altercation with two Vietnamese men using a large stick as a weapon. This escalated to the point where one man was left blind in one eye and Mark was charged with attempted extermination. This charge was very serious, and knowing what could come of it caused Wahlberg to pack his bags and bolt. He was staying with friends for a month until he was eventually found and arrested. He pleaded guilty to aggravated thwacking and was sentenced to 2 years of prison, which he only served 45 days of. He's since become a Hollywood giant, starring in blockbusters like the Transformer franchise, and has been able to steer clear of that law ever since. Number 5. Michelle Rodriguez. While many fans know Rodriguez as the action star from the Fast and Furious franchise, and most recently from the new Dungeons & Dragons movie, she is best known by law enforcement for her many drinking and driving related crimes. These included a number of charges from driving under the influence to attempted swatting while under the influence. These sentences carried out a small jail sentence of only a few days each. In one instance, Rodriguez only served 4 hours of a 4-day prison sentence due to overcrowding, and only served 2 days of a 60-day sentence for the exact same reason. While she may have been let out early, the charges did come with a significant amount of community service, and of course, as many of us know, when you are convicted of a crime, no matter how small, there tends to be a probationary period attached to it, meaning there is a certain amount of time where you're prohibited from violating specific rules and especially committing any crimes. Now, unfortunately for Rodriguez, a hit-and-run incident in Los Angeles placed her in violation of said parole, and a warrant was issued for her arrest. The actress was nowhere to be seen following the incident, as multiple attempts to contact her by police went nowhere. It turns out she had been hiding from them because she knew exactly what was going to happen. This time, there would be no overcrowding loopholes, and she was eventually arrested and made to serve the entirety of a 6-month jail stint for violating her probation. Number 4. Mel Gibson. In 2006, the Braveheart star was pulled over by Los Angeles police who suspected Gibson was not in his right mind to be behind the wheel of a car. While Mel has had many run-ins with the law over the years for numerous reasons, it was his issues with the happy juice that got him on this list. As the officers pulled Mel over, they calmly went through the procedures of administering a roadside sobriety test, which Mel of course failed. When he was politely asked by the officers to enter the squad car, not even putting him in handcuffs, he responded by literally running from the law. Like, he sprinted away. He just got right out of there. Meep, meep. According to the police reports, he made a mad dash towards his vehicle, but before the officers could even start an on-foot pursuit, the go-go juice had already done its job, and Mel's legs had fallen asleep, causing him to fall face first into the pavement. Way to make an impact, Mel. Get it? Because his face impacted with the and moving on! Number 3. Ja Rule. Ja Rule is a famous rapper, producer, and actor with multiple platinum records under his belt. He is also well known among the rich and powerful as a silly man who invests in silly things. In 2018, Ja Rule began promoting a music festival called Fire. The festival was said to be a private concert on a luxurious beach in the Bahamas. People were paying him and the co-founder of the event, Billy McFarland, millions of dollars to rent private yachts and mega mansions that just simply didn't exist. After the festival went forward as scheduled, many people were shocked to find that their homes were actually leftover hurricane shelters from the island, and that their 5-star meals would be of a worse quality than most middle school cafeterias. Not to mention, almost every event, perk, or promise from that festival was cancelled, including the festival itself. Thousands of disgruntled concert goers formed a civil suit against Ja Rule and Billy and had enough evidence and cause to win that battle with basically no effort. This may be why Ja Rule bailed. He fled the island the moment things started to go wrong on site and was elusive in the public eye for several weeks. Eventually, Rule was contacted by law enforcement and made aware of the charges being brought against him. Luckily for Ja Rule though, he was only a part of the civil suit, while his partner Billy McFarland was sentenced to 6 years in jail after the FBI found evidence of multiple counts of wire fraud. Got out of that one pretty good, eh, Ja? Number 2. O.J. Simpson. Today we will be discussing O.J. Simpson, but no, it's not for what you might be thinking. While O.J. had a major run-in with the law in the late 90s, he was later acquitted of those charges being brought against him. However, one night in 2007, O.J. gathered up a crew of goons and made his way to the Palace Station Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. A sports memorabilia dealer named Bruce Fromming testified that the men entered his hotel room and stole memorabilia while threatening his life. The altercation lasted for 6 minutes, but the event was described to have been fast and loud as the crew were strictly there to keep Bruce quiet while the others took the goods. For 3 days following the event, the police were on the search for O.J., as not only was the memorabilia they stole specifically his, but he wasn't wearing a mask or anything at the time of the robbery. He just walked in face first. So, needless to say, Bruce was very quick to point the finger. O.J. was eventually located and charged with robbery and aggravated pushiness and was sentenced to 35 years in prison. Bye, buddy. At number 1, Jake Lloyd. Jake was the little boy that became a Sith Lord, playing young Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars Episode 1. While his character eventually becomes Darth Vader, Lloyd's personal life would turn out to be just as rough. Following the release of the film, Jake was actually picked on relentlessly by both his peers and Star Wars fans. He grew up with people hating him in public settings and cursing his name whenever Episode 1 was even mentioned. Seriously, people, we're hating on this kid like he's Angela Merkel. Chill. This was surely an attributing factor to his growth as a person, as over the years he had become more and more violent in the public eye and was very well known for being short-tempered. In 2015, police chased the 26-year-old Lloyd for 25 miles before he crashed off the side of a road into Interstate 95 in South Carolina. He was not intoxicated at the time, but after being arrested and sent for a psychiatric evaluation, it was concluded that the young actor had been suffering from schizophrenia and was being held for treatment. And there you go, guys. Those are the top 10 people who ran from the law. Who else is running from the law, and did you see anyone going by your window today? Well, let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.